Love Island, Las Vegas, episode 2. So where we had left off yesterday is the recoupling ceremony, and there we talked about how Johnny picked Sally. After the recoupling ceremony, two guys got text messages. Jeremiah got a text message from Rachel, and Carrington got a text message from Kirsten to meet at a jacuzzi where they could have like chats and get to know each other. Obviously there was chemistry there. Am I a fan of those two new girls? Surprisingly, no. I don't know, for some weird reason it just didn't click with me, but they're very attractive and I like Rachel's teeth, so they're not igniting any fire in my bones, but good on them. They're attractive girls. Are we going to get to see them having deeper a depth to them other than their looks? We'll see. So how did they rock the villa? So when they came in and introduced themselves to everybody, of course they're asked that famous question, other than the people that you had picked, who else would you choose? And I always feel like whenever that question is asked, the guys, in this case because it was chicks, the guys who ask that question, I feel are like digging to see if they would be picked. And if it's a girl who's asking that question, when girls come in the villa, it's like they're checking to see if, you know, they need to be worried about their man being taken away. And obviously this situation applies if the roles were reversed, the gender roles were reversed. So I think Kirsten said she would pick Jeremiah and Carrington, I'm not sure, and I don't quite remember what Rachel said. Kirsten obviously looks like she's someone who's like she's going to rock the boat a little bit. Rachel, actually, the more you get to see her in her confessions, she seems more focused on Jeremiah, and the entire episode, that's kind of like the lines she was walking on. So the couple that I'm actually really loving, okay, let's talk about all the couples. Jonathan and, why am I calling him Jonathan? Johnny and Sally, they seem pretty like locked in, but Sally is a wild card because during the game she kissed, like, who did she kiss? Carrington, when it was like they were playing a game where they're supposed to, the kissing game, you know, where they're supposed to guess the person who they have information on. So yeah, she kissed Carrington. Who are the other couples? We have Justine and Jeremiah. Obviously that relationship is dead in the water, but like Justine is kind of like not getting that fact yet, but then it was made clear towards the end that Jeremiah is feeling Rachel more and they should actually leave things on the friend zone, in the friend zone. And here's my thing, like when I feel like when somebody puts me in the friend zone, or when I've been put in the friend zone in the past, of course it hurts. Rejection isn't like a good thing, but then my thing is like, I don't want to want somebody who doesn't want me, and whoever is for me will be crazy about me. So that isn't something that, like, you know, should put you down so much. But I guess it's one of those situations where you have to go through it to realize that. It's kind of like hindsight is 2020. And I like the piece of advice that Sally gave her when she told her that, you know what, your guy is coming for you. But we're going to come back to that conversation a little bit later. So for me, of course, Justine is still my girl. I'm like, listen, if you don't want you, boy, bye. Somebody, and I'd much rather like have the truth from somebody who's telling me that, you know, let's just be friends, don't take it too personally and all that stuff. But then I feel her because she kissed him in the challenge, and I'm sure she's really feeling it. And I think she's the type of person who is like, you know, when I'm in a relationship, I give my 100% effort in it. And I just think she's a girl who just doesn't want to be kissing anybody just all willy-nilly. She wants to save it for the right person. So I feel for her there. Jeremiah obviously is going to go with Rachel, but honestly, my prediction in the future, I feel like that relationship will fizzle out. I don't think it's going to be something that lasts a long while. You watch, and the person who's going to jump ship, surprisingly, is going to be Rachel. Somebody is going to come in, or somebody who's in the villa, and in my mind, I think she's going to go for Johnny. Either Johnny, if Jeremiah bores her, or if Sally isn't acting right, Rachel and Johnny are going to find themselves together. Or if Johnny decides to stay true to Sally, somebody new who's going to come in, who's going to maybe be more charismatic, more engaging, then Jeremiah is, and if as attractive or more attractive, I don't think it can be more attractive, but if those two conditions are met and he's an outsider, her head is going to turn. So not that I have anything against her, but I just have this vibe. I am willing to be proved wrong. I'd rather be wrong than right in this situation, because heartbreak ain't my thing. Okay. Yeah, those are my thoughts, my predictions for the future. Johnny and Sally, do I see that relationship lasting? I feel like Johnny is super into Sally, but like Sally has to kind of learn the hard way to get rid of her old ways, because she is a wild card, like from the game. Dang, she once flipped a coin to decide who she was going to go home with that night. Like, props for being that attractive and being able to draw people like that, but it's just not a good look, especially to a guy who wants something that's really long term, somebody who wants real love. I don't think that's going to work, because he seems like, yes, maybe he's had his wild ways before in the past, but I think he's over it, and he wants like a girl who's into him the way he's into her. But like as Sally said in the beginning, she wants somebody who loves Sally the way Sally loves Sally. Obviously, I think that's just a coping mechanism. I know I said she's self-absorbed, and I still stand by it, but I think she's scared of loving somebody because she's scared of getting her heart broken. So she puts this whole facade that she's like everything and more. But I like her also because like she seems to be this kind, gentle, fun-loving type of person. I don't think she's like super annoying, like, and I hope I'm not painting that picture. I hope I am giving like an unbiased perception or impression that I have of people. I don't hate anybody. I don't, and I'm going to discourage any of that, by the way. And everything that I say is just my initial impressions, and like I said, not everybody is all the way bad, not everyone is all the way good. You're just somewhere in the middle. And if someone's not your cup of tea, I think that's all right, and I think you shouldn't be scared of saying that. That's just a fact. And for people not to interpret that if someone is not for you that you hate them, because that's just like short-sighted in my opinion. So, but I'm super happy for her. That is a relationship that I'm interested in seeing, and I hope that they can both grow in that relationship, more so Sally, because Johnny seems to be 100% in so far. But he did say that whatever was revealed in the kissing game might have been like a red flag. Not verbatim, but he said that it's something that you have to consider. Who are the other couples? James and Moira. Oh my gosh, in that the revelations that were dropped in that game were just like mind-blowing. So earlier that morning before the game started, James and Moira, they were so cute, so lovey-dovey. He was all over her, all over like you know, trying to be cute with the kisses and the hand holding and the, you know. And for me, I was so into them. But then when new girl Kirsten came in and was chatting and pulled him aside without even giving like a courtesy, you know, check up on the girl first, like, hey, I know you guys are super coupled up, but like, could I talk to your dude just for a sec? Like, I just wanna talk to everybody and get to know what the vibe is. Like, I found that so I'm just glad I'm not in her shoes and not in her position, because if somebody tried that with my man, you know, before he was locked down, I would just be like, you on my hit list. You on my hit list, boo. Anywho, so she pulled James aside and James just turned me off completely, all the way off. I don't even mind Kirsten doing that because she's single, she's not coupled up with anyone, and she's not committed to anyone, so she can do whatever she wants to do. However, I think she should have talked to Moira on the side first. Yeah, anywho, so they were talking, and then while they're talking, like, James is like low-key flirting, but he doesn't want to sound full on, just in case like she's rejected. But I think more so that whatever information is passed along, and if it reaches Moira, it doesn't seem like he's shady. But that shows me that he's super crafty. He's super crafty, but it's so under the radar. But then for me, that's just a red flag for James. He seems like a guy who's like 100% 10 toes in, but then no, he's not. He's just one of those nice guys who's really like a bad boy. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I knew in the beginning I was all about James and all that, like singing about how he seems like a good guy, but no, bro, no. But anyways, we're yet to see if he's going to be like a waste man. I got my eye on you, James. So then he's like, yeah, I love giving people compliments. Like, how many times do people tell you you're pretty? Please, if you want to tell a girl she's pretty, okay, just say, I think you're pretty. You're with somebody else, but you don't want to seem like the bad guy, so you're just like going about it in such a sneaky way. And then he's like, oh, I love somebody who takes initiative, so you pulling me over has just made my day. Excuse me? Made my day? So why were your lips on Moira earlier? Yeah. And then, so the things that also turned me off about James is how he said it was revealed that he once had a threesome with 2 married women. Okay, I don't know about like I don't know. You can do whatever you want, however you want. But like, seriously, these are married women. Like, respect for the sanctity of marriage just went out the window. So for me, that's why, like, I don't respect James. I don't respect him. And I think he has some shadiness in him. I know, yes, the married women had choices to make, but then I also think as a man, karma is fill in the blanks. So I don't think he's changed any of his player ways. James is a player. He might not go looking for it. It might come finding him. It might come find him, sorry. But then it's like you have a choice. So it shows like maybe he's about it, or maybe he's just like weak-willed. Just saying. But like I said, I'm not going to judge anybody like harshly and so hard right now, because we're yet to see how everything is going to play out. But for my girl Moira, oh my gosh, like my heart is just like, oh, guard your heart, baby girl, guard your heart. And the thing that I don't like is how he's like, oh yeah, I love it when you're coming out of your shell, you're so beautiful and all that. Yes, it's 100% true. But if you're not the right guy for her. Why do you need to like gas her up and make her feel all loved up if you know your head is going to get turned? You know who you really are, man. That's really messing with people's emotions. Like I said, let's wait for everything to play out, but those are just my predictions and I don't like it. I feel like Mora is going to get really, really, really hurt by James. You know I'm Kenyan, yeah? Heart. Like heart, heart, hurt. All sound the same. And heart. All sound the same. Heart. So it's hat, hot, heart, and hurt. Hat. Yeah, so that's what I think is going to happen. Hat. And I hope not. For me, like I said, my initial contenders, the people that I love, Justine, I love Moira. And next, moving on to my new favorite chick, like I said from day one, Mackenzie. Yo, this girl is all about it. She wants love and she's like, you know, locking him down, clink clink. I love how she stated that she and Connor were super coupled up, and you know, this mama don't mess around. But then she's like, you can get to know everyone, but this is where I stand. I love people who make statements and own it and aren't afraid of it. And you know, they were kind of like making fun of her, not really making fun of her, like bullying her. It was just like light teasing, but then her reaction, she just walked away and she was like super sad. Shows me like she's a highly sensitive individual. I think she's an empath, possibly. And I think she feels energies very easily, very quickly. And emotionally, her headspace, like her mind is ruled by emotions. I'm not saying she's irrational or anything, but I just think she's like highly, highly emotionally intelligent. And I love that Justine picked that up about her and is a very good support system for Mackenzie. And I'm just like so impressed by the women, those three women so far. But my top two are Justine and Mackenzie. Sally and Caitlin, I also like Caitlin because of how she knows how to handle herself. Like, she was just like, listen, I'm not really feeling Carrington, so if you guys want to go and chat with him, or you know, try to see if there's a connection, go there, be about it. I love how she was open and straightforward with Sally about Trey kissing her, because Trey didn't tell Sally, or rather we didn't see Trey telling Sally about the kiss that they had shared in episode 1. And she's just a grown woman, and I love that. I can't wait to see the type of guy who comes in, because I think the person that she'll make the connection with is a new guy, because she said she wants a connection but she can't seem to make it with anyone who's there. So I think her guy is an outsider. Yeah, so I believe, and Sally, yeah, I spoke on Sally. For the guys, I spoke on Johnny, I spoke on Jeremiah. I think Jeremiah is going to be super into Rachel. Yes, I think there is a possibility of him getting his head turned. In my mind, I'm like, I hope Justine, he realizes the value in Justine. And I hope he doesn't realize it too late after he gets burnt. But that's just wishful thinking. I know reality doesn't work like that. So I think actually Jeremiah might be an early elimination. He might be one of the first OG contestants to get eliminated. Johnny, I talked about Johnny. Trey is like, you know, he's just a straggler out there. He's single. I don't think Trey has been in. He's the type of guy who knows what to do with himself when he's single, because he can't deal with being alone, because he doesn't like being alone. But then once he gets attention, it gets to his head and he thinks like, whoa, every woman wants me. Or he's just like, and I actually think it's a blessing in disguise for him to be single, so that it can make him think deeply and reflect about his character, how he treats women, how he's been in previous relationships, and possibly improve himself, become a better man. Or number two, realize that women are valuable, and not be afraid to let his guard down, to become vulnerable, and actually let in someone who will be a lover and a friend. And I think that's what he's sensing from Justine, and I think that's what Justine is. But do I think Justine is right for Trey? No, because I think she deserves a guy who already has it figured out. And I think if she does this, it's like she'll go and become a guinea pig, and she'll probably get heartbroken by Trey. And she senses it. She said that she's skeptical about trying it out with Trey. She doesn't want to get into that whole just messy, dramatic life of his, because he's just like, oh, I have a past. Everybody has a past too. Yes, everybody has a past, but not everybody has your past. So stop trying to paint a picture like everybody has done the same wild things you have, because that's just not true. Do I think Trey is right for Justine? No, I don't think he is, but I think as friends, they can teach each other how to love. Like, I think Justine can teach Trey how to love, how to be deeper, or trigger him to be deeper. I don't think it's a woman's responsibility to teach a man how to love, but I think you can be like a friend and help them along the way to realize what love is and how to become better. I think yes. I think Trey is good for Justine as a friend, because Trey can teach Justine how to, value herself, in terms of like realizing like she's all that and a bag of chips, and that she is like, Trey can teach her how to curve people. That's what I think. Swerve, 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 swerve. So that's how I think their relationship, that's the height of their relationship. I don't want to see them try to be a couple, because in my mind I know how it's going to end. James, I want to say James is cancelled in my books. I just want to see how it's going to play out with him, but I don't want it to be at the expense of Moira. I also think it's going to be an early elimination, just because people are going to realize how shady he is, and they're not going to want him to be around in the house. Who else haven't I talked about? Carrington. I think Carrington is just like typical guy. He's already falling for Kirsten really hard, and I think, surprise, I actually think Carrington has a heart, but he is also putting on a facade of being this cocky guy, and he's so emotionally invested in people. He's those guys who fall hard, and he acts like, oh no, I'm not gonna fall hard, blah blah blah, but then dude, he's falling for Kirsten. But I think Kirsten is gonna ditch him. I'm just saying. Caitlyn. Yeah, I talked about Caitlyn. Yeah, so that's it from me. I know it's scattered here and there. I'm still new to this. Be kind to me, y'all. And yeah, that's it for me. and I hope I see you guys on the next one. Stick with me as I go along this bumpy ride, this awkward new journey of mine, but promise it's going to be wild. Can't wait to see you guys on the next one. Peace.